Battle Royales are getting shut down, products made to cash in on a trend taken away when said trend is dying. There is, however, an exception. A game that released, was popular, died, but never had its servers shut down. A game that, despite everything, is still enjoyed by a hardcore community and receiving new updates. This game is Realm Royale.
I'm chicken.
Chicken? One chicken?
I'm chicken. I'm gonna, yeah. Mods, ban Vadicus and Sammy 1G. Permaban.
To understand Realm and why it's actually still worth playing, we have to go back. The year is 2017. Fortnite releases. It's a hit, and all the gaming companies realize that they need to make battle royales in order to stay relevant. So while all the other developers are spending a lot of time releasing high quality battle royales, Hi-Rez comes out with Paladins Battlegrounds, a new game mode for Paladins that just slaps all its characters together and puts them in a BR setting. Despite it looking like crap, however, people actually like it, and Hi-Rez goes on to make it into a full game called Realm Royale. In this time period, there were a lot of battle royales trying to make a move, but Realm Royale was the first, and it stood out because it was first, but also because it had a few innovations. And people took notice. 100k players on Steam on launch, and even Ninja in his prime said he preferred it to Fortnite. Things were looking good. So why did it die? There's a lot of reasons. They released a good game, but I don't think they planned future content. Realm Royale came out less than a year after Fortnite Battle Royale did. So while the game was fun and simple, I don't think they knew where to take it into the future, or even if they were expecting it to. Another reason is the balance patches. They were changing the game a lot, but instead of adding new and cool and interesting features, they were just changing what they already had, and these changes just made the game worse. Not only this, the patches were infrequent. Realm Royale did adopt a seasonal model, but even then, the exciting new content was mostly just skins, with the content itself being pretty lackluster. The game trailed off, and the game died. It just stopped getting worked on. But a hardcore community stayed around. In fact, for multiple years, up to Realm Royale Reforged, the game was sitting at around 1k players, which is kind of impressive. Hi-Rez were sitting on a hit, a BR that innovated, doing nothing with it, but they were about to change that with the release of Realm Royale Reforged. But Realm Royale Reforged in of itself was still kind of an L. It did not get near its original player count, going from an average of 1k to an average of 3k, on Steam anyway. And the changes themselves were minimal. While they were all positive, it didn't do that much. There were no map updates, there was no new battle pass, it was just pretty much a gameplay overhaul. But it did mean that finally Realm Royale had some developers again, who have, since the release of Reforged, been releasing new content. Which brings us to the present.
I call that tactic aggressive negotiation.
I call her chandelier.
What is it like to play Realm Royale right now? First off, Realm Royale is a class-based game, but the classes function very, very differently to other games. Not only can you choose different weapons, but you can also choose completely different abilities. Realm Royale has a wide pool of abilities that you can choose from, the difference being that some are locked behind specific classes. For example, Hunter can use dodge roll, but the rest of the classes can't. And Hunter can use the longbow, but the rest of the classes can't as well. Every single class have their own unique weapons and abilities that only they can use. But at the same time, there are even more neutral abilities that can be used by all classes. This allows for players to have options when choosing their playstyle in a match, but it also allows for game designers to design specific classes and let their abilities be synchronous. Sure, you have the option to use a whole bunch of neutral abilities if you want to play a character a different way, but usually your best abilities and weapons are your class's own. Look, you could run the assault rifle. It's a very easy weapon to use, and if you're getting into the game, I can see why you would choose it, but trust me, if you want to play Realm Royale, just stick with the class weapons. Trust me, it's something you're gonna want to do. Which brings me on to the next point, the weapons. You can choose to use the Fortnite weapons, assault rifles, SMGs, shotguns and stuff like that, but it is in the class weapons, the good weapons that you want to be using, where their differences lie. A lot of them, almost all of them, are projectile based. In fact, the gunplay in Realm Royale is very, very similar to Overwatch, but that is mostly because all the weapons and abilities are ripped straight from Paladins, so, you know, they're quite similar. Almost all of the weapons in the game are projectile based, and combined with all the movement abilities gives a really, really interesting and fun flow to the combat. Sure, you could choose the boring approach on an assault rifle, but not only is the assault rifle just a worse weapon, you can also just get corner peeked by some guy using a single fire weapon and just get completely owned. And what if you were to get knocked by one of these weapons? What options do you have? Well, instead of just crumbling to the ground and kind of going and perishing, you become a chicken. This is Realm Royale's most iconic feature. When you are knocked, you turn into a chicken, and if you can survive being a chicken, you regenerate with half your health, and you can just go back into the fight. As a chicken, you're kind of powerless. You have a short dash and a very, very weak melee attack. But the chickens is part of why I think Realm Royale is actually the best solo battle royale on the market. I'm not even kidding. As a solo experience, the freeform classes, the fact that you respawn as a chicken, makes me believe that Realm Royale is the best solo battle royale you can play right now. Better than Fortnite, better than Warzone. The best. What about getting around? The map is huge, and it looks like there are very, very few movement options, but Realm Royale has one key feature as well, and that is mounts. With the press of a button, at any time except when indoors, you can get on a mount and you just get extra movement speed for free. No abilities, no stuff like that, you just move faster. This is a great feature, and it pretty much replaces traditional vehicles that you'd have in Fortnite and Apex just completely, and removes the need for them. Everyone has a vehicle all the time, and you don't feel completely weak just running across a bare open field with a few twigs for cover. The fights in Realm Royale are slow, not boring, they're just slower paced. The fact that all the good weapons, the weapons you want to be using, not the ARs and all that crap, are single firing, mean that there's a lot of corner peeking, a lot of baiting, a lot of mind games that play here. Or you could just rush in and hold mouse 1, you know, it is what it is, you can do that as well. Realm Royale is also a really, really simple game. In the timeline of battle royales that have came out, Realm Royale came extremely early, so it doesn't have a lot of the new shiny new toys that games like Fortnite have now. There are no NPCs walking about that are just waiting to be killed. There is not just a million progression systems that you need to progress in order to unlock stuff. You have all abilities, all weapons, and all classes unlocked the moment you open the game. I said earlier that the updates that Realm Royale received are what killed the game, but Realm Royale Reforged changed all of that. Runes, a system that replaced beloved armor, runes were just a terrible system. Trust me, I played with them. I played a few months before Reforged. Runes were awful. They have been completely removed and replaced back with armor, a much fairer and better system overall. Also, one of the updates that killed OG Realm was the fact that there were no class-locked weapons or abilities, so the class you picked was pretty much completely meaningless. Classes have an identity now with their own abilities and weapons, but to balance just getting completely useless loot every time, class chests were introduced that only give you abilities that pertain to your class. Yes, it's the other day, it's editing 3tap here. I just realised that I didn't talk about the Forge. With all this talk about class-locked abilities and weapons, you might think that just getting some out of chests would just be completely horrible and just useless. But that is where the Forge comes in. You see that any weapon or ability that you find can be sharded, turned into shards that is a currency that can be spent at the Forge. And the Forge is just Realm Royale's crafting system. It was actually the first battle royale to have a proper crafting system, unless you count the culling. Once you collect enough shards, you can spend them on crafting items, from stuff to armor potions and health potions to class weapons, abilities, and armor. The specific class items you craft can be picked before you even enter a game at the class loadout section. You can choose to craft class items, universal items, or just upgrade one piece of gear you have. You can't choose what universal items you craft, you can only choose what class weapons you craft. So it's a much better use of shards to spend them on class items you know you're going to get and playing around that instead of just randomly crafting an item and hoping it's what you want. Now, Royale is not without its problems. It has one major problem that I think is really holding the game back, and that is bots. Fortunately, that is a problem that can be fixed. Quite a lot of the time, you're going to be killing bots, and that is because a game with this smaller player base can't really support 60-player matches happening every couple of minutes. You will be killing bots quite a lot, more than you will be killing real players, but you still will run into quite a lot of real players. It's not like you're only going to get bot lobbies all the time. You will be playing against a lot more real players than you think. Which brings us to the future.
I need Realm Royale e-girl skins with a big booty. Oh my god, baby, that's what I'm talking about. We're getting the big booties, dude.
What is left for Realm Royale? Well, it's still getting updates. You see this map that I've been showing in all the gameplay so far? Yeah, it's going to be gone in the future. Realm Royale is completely removing that map and saving it for LTMs. In the future, there will be a 40-player map with no bots. The game will be split between a casual queue with bots and a competitive queue with longer queue times, but no bots. Absolutely no bots. This is perfect, and I think it's exactly what the game needs. Having a smaller map that supports less players is much better for a game of this size. You're going to be getting games a lot quicker, the games are going to be a lot faster. On top of this, you've still got all the core stuff that Realm Royale Reforged did add in its updates. For example, you've got the current battle pass to the season 6 battle pass, as well as the new character, the engineer, who was removed in earlier Realm Royale but has since returned in a Realm Royale Reforged update. As well as this, you have the brand new game mode Realm Wars, which is basically team deathmatch, and let me tell you, Realm Wars is great. If you just want to log on and kill some people, you can do that in Realm Wars. You have a custom map for it, you've got respawns and everything, and you have an event system which makes every single game feel different. I love Realm Wars. It was a great addition. The original update Realm Royale Reforged was developed by 6 people, but that number has gone down to just 2. Thor and Feisty. And let me tell you, Thor and Feisty, if you're watching this video, you've been doing an amazing job. Never give up. Keep going. Trust me, it will pay off in the end. The updates have been slow. You're not a 20-person team anymore, but they have been amazing. Every single change has been positive. You've been fixing bugs, you've been doing content, and the game has just been slowly getting better overall. Thank you guys. Is it worth to play Realm Royale right now? Absolutely. The game never shut down when all the BR surrounding it have. It's been getting updates that have been really high quality, and still, despite it being so old, feels completely different to probably any other BR you've played. Realm Royale is free on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch and PC. Not sponsored, it's just a very good game that I enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave a like if you liked it, leave a dislike if you disliked it. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. Thank you for watching, and tap out. Peace. See ya.